Hello, this is Ezekiel Ojo, Moment of Empowerment. Today, by the grace of God, we're talking about a topic for Jonathan's sake. For Jonathan's sake. And David said, "Is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" 2 Samuel chapter 9 verse 1. Is there any left in Saul's house that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? Can you do something for someone because of what another person did? Can someone impact and impress you so much that you will go to any length to be a blessing to anyone or anything pertaining to him? That exactly is the story of David, Jonathan, and the young man called Mephibosheth. David's problem with Saul started from 1 Samuel chapter 18, from verse 6 to 9. 1 Samuel chapter 18, from verse 6 to 9. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom?" And Saul eyed David from that day and forward. So why Saul was determined to kill David? It's amazing how God turned the heart of Jonathan. For those that don't know who Jonathan is or was, Jonathan was Saul's son and the heir apparent to the throne. But God drew the heart of Jonathan towards David so much that they became covenant friends. Jonathan was always looking for the good of David, while his dad was completely opposite, looking for his death. From verses 3 to 5 of 1 Samuel chapter 18, 1 Samuel chapter 18 verses 3 to 5, the Bible says, "Then Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him, his instrument of royalty, and he gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servant." Their love was deep, more like a blood covenant. Every effort by Saul to harm or kill David was blocked by Jonathan, his son. He never paid attention to the fact that he himself was trading the throne for the love of David. The throne never mattered to him any longer compared to the love he had for David. Nothing really mattered to him but the safety and progress of David. Jonathan went out of his way to demonstrate God's kind of love to David. Many times he made peace between David and his father Saul. And we always look for the interest of David above his father's or his own interest. Can we still find such love in our world today? A love that denies. A love that does not pay attention to what interests in. 1 Samuel chapter 19 from verse 1 to 7, the Bible says, "Now Saul spoke to Jonathan, his son, to all his servants, that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted greatly in David. So Jonathan told David, saying, My father Saul seeks to kill you. Therefore, please be on your guard until morning, and stay in a secret place and hide. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where you are, and I will speak with my father about you. Then what I observe I will tell you." Thus Jonathan spoke well of David to Saul his father, and said to him, "Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he has not sinned against you. And because his works have been very good towards you, for he took his life in his hands and killed the Philistines. And the Lord brought about a great deliverance to all Israel." He made an appeal. He made a case for David, that David doesn't deserve to die. He pleaded with the father. He said, "You saw it and you rejoiced. Why then will you sin against innocent blood to kill David without a cause?" So Saul heeded the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swore, "As the Lord lives, he shall not be killed." Then Jonathan called David, and Jonathan told him of all these things. So Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in times past. So when David said in 2 Samuel chapter 9 verse 1, where we started from, "Is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" It was payback time for Jonathan, who eventually lost his life in the battlefield with his father. Just as the evil men do lives after them, the good that men do also does. Have you bothered to ask yourself the question, can anyone say concerning me, if not for your sake? Can people do things, go out of their way to even lose things of interest just because of you? That was what happened between David and Mephibosheth and Jonathan. David said, "Is there any in the house of Saul, that I might show the kindness of God to us for Jonathan's sake?" And Mephibosheth became the beneficiary of royal kindness. A man that was hiding in Lodibar, that didn't know where help would come from, became a benefactor of what his father did to David. What if his father had been wicked to David? Will David remember anyone in the house of Saul? The evil men do lives after them. So also the good that men do lives after them. Why not make up your mind that for the rest of your life you will look for the good of others, even when they are trying to pay you back with evil? Instead of saying evil must beget evil, why not let good beget evil? Why not do good for those that are looking for your downfall? Because one day it might not be you. Jonathan was already dead, but Mephibosheth was alive. And he was restored everything that belonged to the house of Saul, just for his father Jonathan's sake. Till I come your way next week, Remember, do good always, even to those that seemingly don't deserve good. Next week, same time, moment of empowerment. I am Ezekiel Ojo. God bless you.